Welcome to the Saturday Morning Stateline Show.
I'm just stating a fact. Originally, all beaches were originally nude beaches. I'm Greg. He's Tom. It's your Saturday Morning Stateline Show. Hey, it's summertime. Woohoo!
That's right.
On the 17th day of June, the year 2023, the latest it has ever been.
In the history of mankind.
Congratulations.
So what did they do back in the day, like Ice Age? I mean, they didn't have parkas. They didn't have boots. They didn't have big blankets. I mean,
they were very skilled at fashioning animal skins into amazing ways to stay warm. Apparently, we've got a big show for you this week. We've got the executive director of Alignment Rockford joining us, Emily Klonicki. Going to find out all about Alignment Rockford, why it got started, and what it does here for our Rockford region. And I had a busy week to recap. So before we get into that, let's get into our big number of the week. Our current race to 10 has Tom way out in front by a score of 9-5. Joann's won the last two, so maybe it's finally time Tom breaks the streak here and gets back on the winning side of things. Our big number of the week this week, it's a simple one, Tom. It's you're never going to Google the answer because it's simply 1 million.
Okay.
1 million. The answer though is pennies or parachute. Our answer has something to do with either pennies or parachute, and we'll give you the answer before the end of the show, so stick around and find out what that's all about.
I just texted you mine.
Thank you. I tell you what, where I live down here in the bustling village of New Milford, T-Mobile's been goofy service this last week. But your text came right through, so that's the good news. That came right on through. It's I'll send a text to somebody and maybe a picture, and sometimes the picture will go through before the text will, and you'd think the text would be the easier thing to get through, right?
Yeah, right.
I don't know what's going on with T-Mobile out here.
Then you're looking at the picture going, what is this? And then 4 hours later, the text comes through. Oh, got it now.
Yeah. So anyway, that's not one of my shout outs. I'm not here to bash on T-Mobile. I just kind of I'm just pointing that out in case you're a T-Mobile customer, or like my cell phone history started with Nextel. Remember Nextel with the
I remember that.
the little walkie-talkie type button that you used to be able to use?
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
Drive me nuts. People in grocery stores talking back and forth on it. Yeah.
So Nextel was bought out by Sprint, was a Sprint customer for a long time, and then they, of course, got bought out by T-Mobile. And I'm fine with the service. I get good coverage for most areas, but anyway, this last couple of weeks has been kind of goofy in our area. Bunch of start outs to start out the show with this week, starting with Starlight Theater. We survived our first run of Footloose, kick off your Sunday shoes. We had a great time. Our 2-show day last Saturday went off really well. Congratulations and kudos to all of the Footloose cast for putting on a great first run. We're back again in July, and the July dates are, I think, the 10th through the 14th. July, let's see, where are we here? July 12th through the 16th. There we go. I'll get it right. Wednesday night, July 12th, the second run of Footloose starts, and we have 8 p.m. shows Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Our last show is Sunday, July 16th for Footloose. In the meantime,
what time is that last show?
8 p.m. Sunday night.
Wow.
Yep, 8 p.m. The only matinee we did for the public was this last week Saturday. Mm-hmm. And that went really well. In the Heights is the show that's currently running. In the Heights. So today is your only chance to catch In the Heights if you want to see it at a matinee show. Today at 2:00. And then they have an 8 o'clock show tonight. And then they're on hiatus until their July run.
Okay.
After In the Heights, Oliver will be on the stage. And then following that, Cinderella. There's a week off when the 4th of July activities take place at Starlight Theater. And then the season starts all over again. Footloose, In the Heights, Oliver, Cinderella. And then in August, Stinky Cheese Man takes the stage.
Autobiographical story of you, right?
Oh, no, Aaron Rodgers. It's all about Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, there. Oh, hey, very good.
Stinky
Hey,
Cheese Man.
how much does it cost for tickets for?
20-something bucks.
Okay, and then kids
Student rates, I think, are 18 or
well, I mean, like, well,
kids
okay.
12 and under might be a special rate.
That's what I'm thinking for my grandkids.
Check out I don't have the number in front of me for the box office, but you can call the box office on a weekday and see if there's any special deals or anything like that. I know in years past they've done like walk-up deals where if you wanted to get a random seat right before showtime, they had a special deal for that. But I haven't heard them doing that this year. Maybe because shows are selling so well. The last couple of years it was a little bit rough, just still recovering from COVID stuff.
Yeah,
but
right.
The crowds are back. The crowds are back, and they are loving live theater, and the enthusiasm in the crowds has just been wonderful. It's been so cool to experience that again out at Rock Valley College Starlight Theater. So very, very happy.
Cool.
And this also last weekend, 2 of my kids are performing in, we like to call them kidults. 2 of my kidults are in Rent out at Woodstock Opry House, which they have a show today and then another one tomorrow. And Rent, they're just different times. So you want to go and look up the Woodstock Opry House Theater ticket situation to see what time the shows start. I believe today's is an afternoon show and then tomorrow's a night show. But just sitting in the Woodstock Opera House is so cool to experience that. It's like it's a smaller version of Coronado Theater. It's not as big and elaborate, but it's older, and the history there is just something else. There's a plaque on the wall there that shows the famous people that performed between like 1880 and 1960 or whatever. It's the names on there are incredible. Orson Welles performed at the Woodstock Opera House.
No kidding.
No joke. It's and there's a whole bunch of other really, really famous folks that have performed there over the years. And so check that place out. Another shout out this week goes to the YMCA and the Camp Winnebago. Have you been out to Camp Winnebago in the last couple of years?
No, I've never been there.
I had never been there either. In all the years that I've lived in the Rockford area, I've never been out to Camp Winnebago. They of course do camp stuff for kids, but they also do stuff for adults and stuff. And we took our team, our Sold on Tony team out there to do some team building activities. So we played some games, and they even have like one of those human body foosball type of setups where you're in a fenced in area playing, you can't move from your spot, but you can kick the ball. And only a couple of us got hurt.
Hey,
thankfully the ball wasn't too hard.
Someone gets hurt or till the cops are called.
Justin took one right in the nose, but thankfully it was a softer ball that didn't like break his nose. Yeah, it was fun. And yours truly kicked the winning goal. So now I'm, I guess, excommunicated from the team or something. I don't know. But anyway, we had a good time out there. Thanks to the leadership out there at Camp Winnebago for the team building activity. Then later that night, this was last Monday night. Later that night, I had the privilege of being a part of the least attended Rivets game of the entire season. Monday night's weather was not good. Wow. If you remember, Monday night it was kind of rainy and breezy and cold and icky. Well,
800 people.
It was. I didn't get this. Steve Malliott is one of the co-owners out there, and we were talking to him at the game. He said, "Congratulations, you're going to be at the least attended game of the whole season because we've got a lot of sellouts this season. We got a lot of stuff going on, but the weather tonight, being that it is, and there was no major specials running for that particular game. There was, I don't know, maybe 50 people there. I mean, it was just, there was there wasn't very many people there at all. I was there with Paul Iverson, who owns Iverson Painting, and he's got he's got an advertising deal with them, and so there's a VIP suite to go in so you can step out of the elements. It didn't rain hard enough to delay the game or stop the game. It was just kind of sprinkling on and off the whole night, so it was just not very comfortable. And the team they were playing against, Traverse City, jumped out to a big lead early on, and it was like, but by the end of the third inning, the game was pretty much over. It was like 8-0. The Rivets put up one run later on in the game, but yeah, it was like an 8-1.
I may have had more people at my trivia event.
There were probably as many staff at that game as there were fans, and that won't happen again all season because they've got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of specials. That was the night. So, but they're doing a great thing out there, and they've got some great staff and interns running the show. So if you get a chance to go out there, they're putting on a fun show. They got some great, excited young players. Go out and see a Rivets game. They got some good stuff going on this year. I was at Francesco's twice this week. Yeah. Francesco's hosted an event for Black Hawk Bank. They are being bought out by something called First. I forget the name of the bigger bank that's buying them out.
Okay.
And I got an explanation.
West or something. I've actually heard this.
Yeah.
A friend of mine works at Black Hawk Bank, and she's not happy about it. And it has nothing to do with the bank coming in. It's just that the change and all of that. She's just not happy.
It's a change. And so the bottom line, what's happening with Black Hawk Bank, which the way it was explained to me by one of the higher ups, is basically once a bank hits the $2 billion threshold in assets, the things that govern them, the rules that pertain to them, change in such a way that it becomes more expensive to run the bank. And so banks have to do something. Once you get to that $2 billion threshold, you've got to do something. And so this is when oftentimes banks get purchased. And that's what's going on, is we're going to go from a $1.8 billion bank to an $8.7 billion bank with this purchase. The bank that's buying them out now is going to be worth about $8-point-something billion. And they've already leapfrogged past that certain set of standards or whatever that they have to keep. So that's the short explanation of what's going on. The bank has a good reputation that's buying them out, so they're not too upset about that. It should be a pretty smooth transition, and it's not going to be one of those abrupt things, which there's a lot of lead up. So they're handling things really well. It looks like that's going to be a good thing. It's just kind of a bummer that we're probably going to lose the Black Hawk Bank brand around here, which has become very well known for excellence in banking. So there's that. Things change, things grow. So
yeah.
The other thing I was at Francesco's for was a networking group that's being restarted again, called it used to be called the Rockford Social Square. Now it's called Rockford Social Entrepreneurs. And that was nice to have a nice big group of folks there meeting at Francesco's. Congratulations going out this week to Marcy and her son Grant. They bought a home this week and closed on that. So a team sold on Tony Keller Williams Realty Signature. One of the buyers that I've been working with for a number of months now got their house this week. So congratulations and kudos to them. And then finally, a shout out to the Ski Bronx. I'm wearing my Ski Bronx shirt today. Ski Bronx Water Ski Show Team, Loves Park, Shorewood Park.
I'm wearing my adulting shirt. Would not recommend. Yeah. Oh, I'm not mirrored properly, but I don't care.
The Ski Bronx are a very young team this year. They've got a lot of youngsters out there skiing, doing the tricks, and last night, they pulled off their conversion pyramid, which if you've been out there before, back in like 1991 or 92, they won the Nationals when they developed a new trick called the prefabricated pyramid, where they built the pyramid on the dock and then pulled it off. And there it was on the water instantly. It's an amazing trick that all the teams do across the country now. And they, in the last few years, they've done a conversion pyramid where they pull off the dock two prefabricated pyramids that are 3 levels high. And then they go around the show course. And by the time they come back, they've converted that into one 4-high pyramid. So They pull 12 people off the dock, 2 pyramids strong. It's very exciting. They go swing around north side of the river and come back. And by the time they come back, they've converted those 2 threes into a single 4 high pyramid. It's an awesome trick. And the young people pulled it off last night. So that's a big scoring thing when they get to the competition events that are coming up. So kudos to them for putting on a great show. And this year's show is oddly enough, ironically enough, has to do with Footloose. It's a Footloose themed show.
That's cool.
Anyway.
Which could be dangerous if you're on top of that pyramid, because if your foot is loose, you don't
want your foot loose. That's a scary situation to be in.
Right.
You want your foot to be solid. All right. We have, here we go. We have our guest standing by. Any final shout outs before we bring on Emily?
No, we're good.
All righty. We have Alignment Rockford's executive director on this morning, and the Alignment Rockford stated mission is to align community resources in support of public school strategies to raise student achievement, improve the health and happiness of our children, and advance the economic and social well-being of our community. I love that mission statement. And Emily Klonicki, the executive director, is with us here this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Thanks for joining us today. Before we started the show, you said you had the piece of artwork behind you was by a local artist.
Yeah, Deborah Newton. She's passed away now, but yes, she was a pretty prominent artist. The Art Museum just did a retrospective of her last month or a couple months ago.
Right.
Yeah.
So kudos to Deborah Newton.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Did you grow up in Rockford? How did you get involved with Alignment Rockford? Give us the 411 on all things Emily Klonicki.
Okay. Yes, I was born and raised in Rockford. I am a librarian by trade. I have a master's degree in library and information science, and I have worked in library administration kind of all over this northern Illinois area. And when I came back to Rockford Public Library a few years ago, I was put on a team at Alignment Rockford for the early childhood work that they were doing at that time. I've for a long time been fascinated with the Harlem Children's Zone, which is kind of a community parent support saturation for early childhood pilot project that happened in New York. Actually, around 18 years ago, it started. The Harlem Children's Zone kids are just graduating this year, the very first group of kids that went through. And I was always interested in that. And I always thought this would be something really good for Rockford. And I was put onto this team as a liaison for the Rockford Public Library and discovered that Alignment Rockford was sort of beginning the stages of this work in Rockford, this early childhood community support around parents and caregivers of young children. And I was really excited and I got involved. That was when Rockford brought in the Early Development Instrument, which is a survey of kindergarten students. And I worked on that team the whole time I was at Rockford Public Library. So when the previous executive director left, I was really interested in coming over and getting involved in this work. I love community building. I am always doing something with the community, with the arts and with education. And so this is just a really nice, natural space for me to be in. And I really love it.
So it looks like the background that I'm seeing here, and I'm looking at your website right now. I think I can share the screen here on the actual website for Alignment Rockford. It looks like you guys, somebody went looking for some help. Obviously, Rockford schools went through a really, really tough time. When was it? Late 80s, early 90s?
It all began in 89 when they closed West and, all of that mess.
Yeah.
And then throughout the 90s, we had problems for about 10 years.
A lot of big issues that had to be overcome for a lot of different reasons. And we don't need to get into that. The good news is people have said, okay, enough is enough. We got to get some solutions here. And they found something happening in Nashville, Tennessee that it seemed to be working. And can you kind of explain what that was all about there, Emily?
Yeah, so you are exactly right. Some local business leaders got together and just basically said, you know what is the rest of the country doing in this situation? How are other communities supporting their school district? How are they helping to work through these issues that we're having here in our community? And they kind of went on a search around the country, looking at different models, looking at different communities. And you're exactly right. They landed in Nashville with Alignment Nashville. It was an organization that was already started there, that was working. It's a collective impact model that's specifically focused around not early childhood, around working with public school districts and bringing the community around issues and gaps that are identified for students. So it has a very specific structure of organization, and then a very specific sort of model for doing our work that works well with a lot of the needs and bureaucracy and things like that with a big school district. And so it's a very successful model that is often it works for institutionalizing big systemic change that needs to happen sometimes with education. So that was 2009, and they loved this model. They sent a lot of people down to Nashville to get trained. Nashville was just a starting organization. They had been around for a few years, but they were having really great success. Came back, started the organization here. And then they kind of began the work that Alignment Rockford has been known for in the community over the years, which is our college and career readiness work with Rockford Public School District. At that time, the real issue was the high school graduation rate. That was something that the community was just really wanting to see some change in, providing opportunities and pathways for high school students that maybe have different needs or maybe want a different path than college. And so that college and career readiness work really took off in Rockford, where a lot of communities, it took several years to get going. Rockford and Alignment Rockford bringing our business community in and really working with the school district very closely, co-developed the Pathways program that is the high school curriculum experience for all high school students now. We built the Academy Expo and all of that. So that's work that we've been really, really involved with over the years and is now fully institutionalized by the district. The district completely runs that work. And now we, Alignment Rockford, are in a new space. We're working in early childhood, and we're now getting into social, emotional, and trauma response, which are the gaps and needs that we have identified in the community around our students.
Okay. So the academy system that the high schools are currently using, they have been for about 7-8 years now, that started with you guys?
Yep. So all of that
Should've known that.
that entire program was co-developed by the community and the school district. And that's the key to our model, is that we identify gaps and needs, and then we create teams around those gaps and needs that include stakeholders in the community and the school district, so that whatever is made is created in a way that is co-developed by the very people who are going to be carrying it out. So the Pathways programs, as an example, is very the business community is very integrated. There are a lot of internships, there are a lot of classroom visits, there are a lot of ways that the business community is very closely laced into that Pathways program for students, and that's why it's successful. But in order for that to have been successful, it's like if the school district would have developed it and just asked that business community, it wouldn't have been as good. If the business community would have just come and tried to bring it into the district, it wouldn't have worked as well. It was co-developed by the very players that are going to be carrying it out, and that's why it's so successful today. And that's what our model is.
And you've got the motivation, because obviously the businesses that are based here in Rockford want to succeed, and they want to have talent that they don't have to go fishing across the country to get. Let's find it right here locally, and we've got a lot of talented people. As highlighted a couple nights ago, that Top Gun Diamonds event that just gosh, why is that? My brain is. We just had him on the show a couple weeks ago. that was talking about that event that was
Oh yeah. And I can't remember
highlighting
his name either.
local talent. So there's this is really cool because the impact on students right now, the fact that this academy system has proven itself to be a worthy endeavor, and has helped students. The graduation rate, I believe, is starting to tick back up again, which is good. Students are seeing more of their opportunities in the local businesses and other careers that they could be involved in. So that's really exciting. And because that has now been passed off to the schools, you're focusing now on this early childhood education. That alone is just a really exciting success story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are very proud of the work with the pathways, and we are very integrated in the work with early childhood. We are very passionate about bringing the community around education as a community issue. A lot of times, something that people don't always realize that they do is they containerize education into a school district issue. And there are a lot of pieces and elements that are playing into what happens in the school district or in the schools that really have a lot to do with the community's concerns. And so it's our role to help to kind of realign even the way that people approach the topic of education and their role in it, and help to build those pathways and those bridges in. So, for example, with early childhood, we run an early development instrument. This is a kindergarten survey that Rockford has had since 2019. That was what I would refer to earlier when I came into Alignment Rockford and got involved in their work. The early development instrument measures kindergarten readiness across 5 critical domains, because when a child enters kindergarten, they're kind of like where they are developmentally is going to be setting the path for all of their future academic and even lifelong outcomes. Um, the primary development of the brain happens from really age 0 to 3, and overall 0 to 5. That is the most active time for brain development, and this is a big gap in our culture because the parents and caregivers of children ages 0 to 5, before they enter kindergarten, before they enter an educational sort of institutionalized setting, we don't have any systematic support for these parents and caregivers. We don't have any education. We don't have any resources. We don't have any institutionalized way for these parents and caregivers to understand what to give to their children, what they need, how to prepare them. And so we have, according to the early development instrument, over 35% of our students in kindergarten are entering a kindergarten not ready to be educated within that system. The brain is malleable. We have a neuroplastic brain. I love to explain to people that this is the reason why humans are so successful as a species, because our brains are adaptable to whatever the inputs are when we're born. So that critical period of 0 to 3, we're basically building a brain to the template that we are putting onto it. So if a child doesn't receive the experiences, which is what builds that architecture in the brain, that will prepare them to be ready to learn in the learning environment that they're going to be expected to learn in, they come in already a little bit with a difficulty, a barrier to being able to be successful in kindergarten and beyond. This we've learned. We were very concerned about the 3rd grade reading score about 5 years ago, and that's what led us into the early development and the early childhood work. When you do the research on what is happening at the 3rd grade reading level, which is a flag period, because how a child performs on 3rd grade reading is also an indicator for future academic outcomes. That was kind of like the first thing that we realized, like, hey, we can find out how kids are going to do over the course of their academic career by looking at the way they test on their 3rd grade reading and math scores. And so for a while, the community kind of got around this literacy in the schools, helping kids to build their literacy skills, which is still important. But the research shows that those scores are actually can be tracked back to that kindergarten readiness at the kindergarten level, how they come in. So Alignment Rockford is in the position of, with our Ready to Learn work, leveraging the community resources along with the school district, who is a very good partner with us in Ready to Learn, to address this early childhood issue, to try to create wraparound support for parents and caregivers, um, tiered levels of interaction, education support, networking, to try to wrap them with these things that they need to provide those experiences to their child so that more children enter kindergarten ready. This is a community issue. Social, emotional, and the trauma response of our students in school right now is another big issue that is a community issue, but is affecting the academic outcomes of our students. We have very high domestic violence rates in this community. We have a lot of students who are experiencing poverty, a lot of barriers, a lot of issues at home, and they're coming to school with a lot of trauma, a lot of problems, and they are not coming into their school day in a mindset where they're ready to learn because maybe they're hungry, maybe they have some other issues going on. And so we're looking at, again, taking the community, looking at this issue and saying, what can we do? How can we support these students, both within the school district and in the community that they're continuing inside and out of? They come into the schools in the morning, they leave. How do we wrap these students, their families, in resources and support so that when they are in their school day, when they're being educated by the district, who has good academic um, uh,
a lot of opportunities. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's like the school district is set to educate students, but the students aren't set to receive the education. And it's kind of like it's a very complex issue, and any complex systemic issue requires a complex response. And that's where we come together and build these teams that help to address these complicated issues for our students.
So when you go to alignmentrockford.org, there's a page there that says get involved. If you're a community member, you can click there. If you're a business organization, you can click there, find out the different ways that you can plug in and become a facilitator, become a supporter, whatever. Is there any kind of event or informational type thing coming up that we can plug today, or anything that's on the calendar that can kind of focus people towards, as far as I don't know, an informational type meeting or something like that?
So if you're interested in the early childhood work, we have meetings every month for our community parent support saturation work, which is the bulk of kind of the way the community gets involved in this. And so if you go through the website, or you can contact me, we can connect you with that team and find the right place for you. One of the things that we do with that work is we also bring on, as you can see on the website there, parent co-leads. So also parents of young children who are interested in being involved in this work, helping to spread information and resources to their networks, joining us as liaisons from on the ground, helping us to understand the work. That is a paid position. So we do pay our parent co-leads for that work. And we also have some other work that will be coming up with the social, emotional, and trauma, and we will be organizing teams for that, but those are still developing right now. So I don't have anything for the community on that yet.
So many resources there at alignmentrockford.org. And I'm gonna copy this webpage right here and put this in the chat so people can see where that link is. And thank you, Michael. Yes, happy Father's Day tomorrow, everybody.
Yes.
Here's a link in the chat. If you're watching us via YouTube or Facebook, it's right there for you to check out. And a lot of information and a lot of past success that's morphing into, hopefully, obviously, more success in this early childhood initiative. That's awesome. Any other final things that you want to plug here that we didn't ask you about before we let you go, Emily?
No, I just am so interested in talking to the community. If there's anyone here who has an organization or an agency, I would love to come talk to you about the early development instrument data from 2022. We just ran the survey. We run it every 3 years, and there's a lot of information there. And also, if you are interested in getting involved in our work in any way or just want to support students, just reach out to me and we can plug you in somewhere.
Awesome.
I was
Sounds
going to
good.
say you are very, very passionate about all of this. Wow. That was
Yeah,
incredible.
and there's
That
a
was,
lot. It's like a lot
yeah.
to boil down, but yeah, it's
I
really
can
good
tell
work.
you love
Very
what you do.
satisfying.
And
I do.
I think you do a nice job with it. I don't know. I mean, but I think you do based on, wow, that was really good.
Mhm.
And I have no
Absolutely.
questions. I think you covered everything.
I definitely did not cover everything, but
Well, we
covered
didn't solve the world's problems, hunger in foreign countries, but hey, we're working on it, right?
We're working on it. We're working on it. Well, thanks for your time this morning, Emily, and we look forward to keeping track on the future success of Alignment Rockford.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a great morning.
And have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Alignment Rockford. Again, there's their mission statement right there on the screen for you, and check out Alignment Rockford on their website.
That was really incredible.
Good deal.
That girl knows her stuff.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. I was told she was going to be an excellent guest, and they were not wrong.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So before we get to all things PAWS, good morning, Joann. Good to see you.
Good morning, Joann.
We have a bunch of barkies at PAWS today, or is it just all cats?
today.
No barkies. All right.
Just meowies.
Volunteers like crazy getting ready for the garage sale.
Oh, that's right. The no fleas market. That's today.
Yes.
So there's going to be a lot of people and good weather for it today too.
Does that go backwards?
It's backwards, but yeah, the no fleas market
This
at
way.
PAWS Humane Society.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
At Cherryville Mall, just north of Cherryville Mall.
9 to
Check that out
1.
today. So we'll talk to you about that here in a minute. But before that, we got our SMS info, which of course is unofficially brought to you by Ultrawise. Ultrawise is the app that enables volunteers to track and verify and even maintain their own community service data for a lifetime. Tell a better story, live a better life. The Ultrawise app is in your app store. Happy Father's Day, everybody. Father's Day tomorrow. All the dads out there. Got to see my dad this week. He came out to one of the Starlight Footloose shows this week. Last week we had on the W Connection, and Ashley and Colleen have that June 21st event coming up here this week. I'm going to put that in the chat. W, Tom says W. The Widows Helping Widows, and that event is coming up here on the 21st this week. So that link is in the chat. As far as stuff that is going on around Rockford, how about a quick share of our GoRockford.com website? Of course, Atwood Center has their Birds of Prey. That happens every Saturday. The Birds of Prey exhibit very special and unique to Northern Illinois and Southern Wisconsin up-close views of raptors. One of the few accessible tree houses in Illinois. Visitors welcome to observe and take pictures and even see the birds get fed every Saturday at 1 o'clock. Yeah, it's something else. Old Settlers Days is going on this weekend up in Rockton. Always a big fun party up there. Today and tomorrow. To get in at the gate is $10. They got main stage activity as well, and that the carnival midway. Concerts on the Creek is happening today at 7 o'clock. Free admission. Donations are encouraged. And Madison's award-winning husband-wife duo, Mary Gaines and Chris Wagner, are the featured artists tonight at Concerts on the Creek. Gaines and Wagner, stringed instrument wizards. That's happening tonight. All right. Apparently Tuesday is the new Friday. Maybe you've noticed this. I noticed some chat this week on the social media about how much traffic there is during the weekdays, during odd hours. And here's one of the things that's apparently a new trend. Tuesday is the new Friday. This is a study in New York City. According to the New York Post, restaurant owners across the city are seeing a seismic shift in Tuesday vibes as it moves from sleepy date night to full-on party mode. One Midtown restaurant, diners drink 20% more wine on Tuesdays than they do on Fridays. Tuesday's the busiest night of the week for some restaurants now. It's unheard of for people to make reservations 2 weeks ahead of time to eat out on a Tuesday, but now they're doing that. And I think a lot of it has to do as well with the number of people that are working from home now. So they can take kind of the midday to run errands when before that was not something they could do. They were stuck in an office. So we're seeing definite increase in traffic just on a generic weekday in Rockford and across the country. People using their phones while driving make as many, if not more, driving errors than drunk drivers do. This is a new study out of New Zealand that says the risk of collision is 4 times greater when driving while talking on the phone. If you're concentrating on a conversation, that is what distracts you. It's not the physical act of holding a phone. It's concentrating on a conversation. So if you're going to have a serious conversation, pull over, get in the parking lot, stop the driving while trying to hold an important conversation. It's not a good idea. And some randoms for this week. A survey. This is kind of funny especially as a realtor. A survey found that the average home has 9 unfinished do-it-yourself projects at any given time.
That would be my quilts.
That would be your quilts. I'm trying to think of DIY projects that I have going on right now that are unfinished. I mean, I guess there's some things.
I don't want to say bad things about my son-in-law, but my son-in-law probably has a million.
There's all these intentions of getting things done. I've got things in my garage that are eventually things I want to do, but they're not like high priority things. You know, I bought something from Menards probably a month or so ago that I eventually intend to put in my yard, but it's still in the garage.
Yeah. I've got about 30 projects here. I've got a door that I just put on my basement so the cats don't go down there and the dog doesn't go down there. And I haven't put the door handle on yet.
Yeah.
I bought a brand new door from Menards and I put the door on. We had to get a whole new
like
door.
A cat door for the cats?
No, the old door had a cat door. My wife didn't want a cat door on it because they go down there and then there's a litter box down there, but so I got a cat who misses the litter box.
Oh no.
I don't understand how he can do that. But anyway.
That's a problem.
Yeah, so she didn't want the animals going down there. So we don't have a cat door on that one, but I don't have a door handle on it yet. I bought the handle 3 weeks ago. I still haven't put it on.
It's there. It's waiting for you.
Yeah, it's waiting for me. And that's just one of many. I got a whole.
All right. So you're probably in the majority then. You're right there.
I'm in the majority plus. Yeah.
These are some of the big numbers that didn't make our big number of the week game this week. The largest restaurant in the world is in Syria. Bawabet Dimashq restaurant in Syria. They employ as many as 1,800 staff. The world's largest restaurant can serve 6,000 diners at one time.
Man,
it's
what?
Unbelievable.
I've been to some buffet places before where there's like 250, 300 people in here. 6,000 diners? Wow.
Don't go on a Tuesday.
Right.
Yeah. There you go. There's 7,000 on Tuesday.
That's awesome.
Good one, Joann.
If you ever wondered how many peanuts it takes to make a single jar of Skippy peanut butter, a 16.3 ounce jar of Skippy peanut butter needs at least 772 peanuts to make that jar of peanut butter. Love me some peanut butter. And a survey found that 34%, fully 1/3 of all adults, sleep with a stuffed animal or some other sentimental object. Are you one of those people? Do you sleep with something special?
I don't need to. I have fur animals.
Tom sleeps with a Green Bay Packer bear.
No,
No.
I have my
No,
own
here's-
fur animals I sleep with.
No, here's a real funny story. I'll be quick with it. When I busted up my arm in my motorcycle accident, this arm right here, you see the scar right there. We were at a movie at the old North McChesney Park Theaters back when McChesney was actually a mall. And the movies were like $1.50, $1.75, something like that. Well, we were in there. I was in a wheelchair because I was very messed up after my accident. I'd been carrying a pillow under my arm because I had an external fixator on it. We went into JCPenney Outlet, which was my favorite, absolute favorite store of all time. And they had teddy bears. They were, I think he's in here. Oh, he is. Hold on 1 second.
I slept with a special blanket till I was about 6. After that, I haven't had any kind of thing that I slept with. But I had a very special blanket. I was very upset when my mom got rid of that blanket.
This is Mr. Squishy Face. My daughter's named him, not me. Wait, look how big he is. He's big. Well, he would go under my arm, and that's what I carried with me for a long, long time while I was still in my wheelchair for about 3 months, 3.5 months. Anyway, I every once in a while, he's in here now. He's not in the bedroom anymore, so I don't really sleep with Mr. Squishy Face anymore. But
he was a special part of your life.
Yeah, I'm guilty. Well, look at all my teddy bears, I have about 500, 600 of them, something like that. Love my stuffed animals.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's
my story. And
that's our randoms for the week. I could have more, but we had a great long talk with our guest this week. So let's get into all things PAWS Humane Society. Again, today is the big no fleas market at PAWS Humane Society. So go check that out. I'm going to see if I can bring up the flyer here while Joann gets ready to. Do we want to take a tour of the inside today?
I'm sorry, I was just looking at the flyer myself and going to say how many. We have about 9 groups in here, so it should be pretty funny.
Okay.
Not funny, that is. Should be a good time if you're looking for.
Should be very successful.
Travelers. I'm hoping it's successful. And we always have lots of donations, so we're selling a lot of our donations. This is, I'm sorry. This is Miss Ava, very fluffy, sweet kitty.
Hello, Ava.
There's one talking to Tom again. Please, about me.
Yeah.
This is Dakota. I was trying to think. Oh, when she was found as a stray, but she had a North Dakota rabies tag. So that's her name, Dakota. So
hello, Dakota.
Oh, that's funny. Because I was going to say, is it north or south?
But she was found as a stray, so somehow her family lost her, and the rabies tag didn't get back to anybody.
Interesting.
Wow.
So that's the name Dakota, and this is the one I can't say much. Coffee. You can say it yourself. Yes, I just can't say that, so I choose not to. Macchiato.
You got it.
We've got volunteers all over, so bear with me.
Thank you, volunteers.
And then we've got people here for the garage sale too. So, that one doesn't want to get cleaned or, yeah. Here's Poppy. She's kind of playing with getting her cage cleaned. Real sweetheart. And most of the kittens are now ready to be adopted that we have at the shelter. So you could come to the garage sale and go home with a kitten and treasures.
I'm sure there's hope that that's going to happen by some people. So, yeah.
And our we're having longer. We open at 9. So adoptions are open at 9.
9 to 1 today. The no fleas market yard sale.
So we're hoping for a successful day.
Very
And
cool.
I know that my Wi-Fi doesn't work going outside, so I won't even
Yeah,
try.
yeah. Don't and with the additional volunteers today, we can tell your Wi-Fi is choppier than normal. There's a lot of
Oh, I'm
people
sorry.
connected to your Wi-Fi today. No, it's we're still seeing
Oh,
kitty
there's
cats.
more using the Wi-Fi. This is
I
the
think
cat.
so.
This is the cat I want.
Oh,
No, Nellie. Oh, Nellie's so pretty. Beautiful cat. Tom, take me home.
Wow.
that's Keith. That's Keith Jackson's cat.
That's right.
Whoa, Nelly.
Clover.
Whoa, Nelly.
Clover's
Yeah.
the one that Tom wants. So Tom, come out today.
I like Culvers. I'm okay, so it's my grandson's birthday party today. Benjamin's birthday is the 16th. Dominic's birthday is the 24th. We're celebrating it today out at a pavilion. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it, but I'm going to try to come out for like an hour. We have the boys with us right now, but we're, I don't know what the day's going to look like. We have to go car
Okay.
shopping too.
This
Long
is
story on
this is
that.
a cute cat. Do I say that about every cat?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
This is Flora.
Yeah. Wow.
She's posing for a picture to be cat of the week.
Looks like Spud
I love that
McKenzie.
black eye. She's got
Cat-
a sister, but the sister's a little more shy.
Was she in a fight? She's got a black eye.
The forever black eye. Oh,
It's
Yeah.
cute. I'm gonna try and get a better picture, and then she will be our pet of the week.
all right. Well, here
It's
is
Well, I
Here's
wanted to
our
say to
stream.
I know this is, but I know Sarah listens a lot. But I just wanted to say she lost her dog this week.
yeah.
So,
Sorry, Sarah.
No.
and was a really sweet dog, was 14 and a half years old, a German Shepherd mix. So just sending more condolences. It's one of the hard
Condolences.
parts of pet ownership.
Right.
It really is. I've gone through it several times. I know you probably, Joann, have gone through it many times,
Even
probably
with
more than us.
fosters.
Because of fostering. I was going to say, even giving up a dog that you've had.
No, I mean,
for
yeah,
6
but I've
months
had
or
a
8
few
months, you get-
fosters that either died because of illness or. And
Right.
now I've connected with,
Yeah.
that you brought this up, I've connected with a lot of my families in the past that adopted. I've been fostering for over 10 years. So
Hmm.
some of my dogs, if there were 5 or
Right.
6 when they got adopted, now are at the Rainbow Bridge. So
Yeah.
But-
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
don't
We
let
have,
us get into that sad. Sorry, Sarah, but I
No,
wanted
no.
to mention it.
condolences as well. Well, we have a big number of the week. Let's find out if this is the completion of our current race to. Our current race to 10 has Tom out in front by a score of 9-5. This could be it right here. The final one. Our big number of the week this week is 1 million. 1 million.
So you're like this.
1 million. And the
million.
answer,
Are
the
we all
answer
millionaires?
is
How much Tom makes in a year?
pennies or parachute. Yeah, 1 million
Oh,
pennies.
yeah.
Pennies or
1 million
parachute.
pennies.
And let's see. Yep, Tom's given me his answer already. What is yours, Joann? 3, 2, 1, go.
Pennies.
You're going with pennies. Surprisingly enough, Tom also went with pennies. Did you hear about this California family that found a whole bunch of pennies in their late relative's basement crawl space? This is a story this week. This California family they were cleaning out a late relative's basement crawl space, and apparently I don't know if they were selling this house or just cleaning it out for another family member to live in. The coins, they're worth about $10,000 at face value because there's about 1 million copper pennies found in this basement. Yeah, that's
So Tom
right.
wins.
So Tom wins our latest race to 10. Congratulations, Tom.
my second victory out of 6.
Second
Is that
time
right?
in
Something
a
like
while.
that.
Yeah. They're selling these pennies though. They're asking $25,000 for the pennies. Why would they do such a thing? Well, they might contain rare finds worth a small fortune. The family listed the pennies on a website for $25,000 after a local bank branches told them they didn't have the room to hold thousands of pounds of copper Abe Lincolns. Pennies were all copper.
Pennies that were saved?
Huh?
Were they all pennies that were saved?
These are all pennies apparently in this crawl space. Like thousands of pounds of them. Pennies were made out of copper until 1943, and then the material demands.
They can't even turn them in.
Well, they can. It's to be too hard to do it all at one bank. So they're going to try to sell them all.
Yeah, they wouldn't have the bulk space.
World War II prompted the U.S. Mint to switch from copper to a zinc-coated steel. A few dozen copper pennies were accidentally made that year, and one of those pennies sold for $300,000 at an auction last year.
Wow.
So the potential that in these 1 million pennies in this house, that a few of them might be really worth a lot of money, it might be a good investment, but who's got time to go through 1 million pennies? That's the question.
Oh my goodness.
The parachute story is kind of crazy. A British man was detained by South Korean police last week. He climbed 72 stories, just over 1,000 feet up the world's 5th highest building, Seoul's Lot World Tower. He climbed it with his bare hands. He's planned to base jump with a parachute off the top of the tower, but he got stuck on the 72nd floor. He's not the first one to try to attempt this before. A French climber, they nicknamed Spider-Man, he made it to floor 75 back in 2018. This guy made it to floor 72 and apparently got stuck. But he had a parachute on. He was ready to jump. They detained him though. Don't climb a building with your bare hands. That's just crazy. All right, I think that's everything for this week. Any final thoughts before we wrap up? This is show number 166 since going all online. Show number 503 since starting in 2013. And we were going to talk a little bit of sports, but I'm kind of out of time. Kudos to the Denver Nuggets for winning the NBA championship and the Las Vegas Golden Knights for winning the NHL.
Yeah, in their 6th season, earliest ever to do it in hockey. It happened in baseball 4 seasons here at Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Nuggets are the Nuggets remind me a lot of the Milwaukee Bucks. It's just a team that you didn't really know if they were going to do much, and then all of a sudden they just kind of show up and show out.
Yeah, the Bucks are making some noise. They might go out and get Bradley Beal from Washington. They're making some noise. And they got a new coach now, so
I'm excited.
You add one more piece to that puzzle, and good coaching.
Yeah.
There's your world champion.
Yeah, I'm excited about the Milwaukee Bucks. And we'll talk more Packers as we get closer to the season.
Oh, yeah.
Just know this, when it comes to the Green Bay Packers, they are a young, hungry group that are totally vibing. If everything on social media is even half true, the young Green Bay Packers team really enjoys each other and they're having fun. And
you know what? They don't have the little prima donna to worry about anymore. That's right. He's in New York. He's with the Jets. I'm really excited about the Packers. And as Jordan Love goes, so goes the Green Bay Packers. Now I'll say this. I think I said this last week or a couple of weeks ago. Matt LaFleur has not been able to coach the way he wants to coach. Because, hey, Aaron, I want you to run this play. Well, sorry, I'm not going to do that. Oh, jeez. What is he going to do?
Right.
Bench him? I think Matt LaFleur has done this now with Aaron Rodgers. He's done. He's free. And now he can coach Jordan Love the way he wants to. And I believe Jordan Love is going to be a little better than we think. He's had 3 years under Aaron Rodgers. Taking nothing away from Aaron Rodgers. He's a great quarterback. Great football mind. If Jordan Love performs half as good as Aaron Rodgers, I think we're going to have a pretty successful season. I think the Packers are going to go 11-6.
Gosh, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I'm happy. I'm going to be happy with a 9-8
Nope. No, I don't know if that'll
no,
get you in
it
the
might
playoffs. It
not.
probably
But
will,
I'll be happy with a winning season, and 9-8 would not disappoint me. So that's where my expectations are. I think they can do better because I think they got the talent to do better. But we'll see. We'll see. The question will become, will they be this cohesive if they start off the season 0-3 or 1-4, something like that?
No.
She
That's
waved
gonna
at
be a
me
big
when
test.
she came
Yeah.
out.
Well, they start with the Bears, so they're going to start out 1-0.
There we go.
So we know that.
All right.
Just
All
messing
right,
with
friends.
you, Bear
Remember,
fans.
you change the world when you help one person. Be a blessing to someone this week. We'll try to do the same and meet you back here next week for another Saturday Morning Stateline Show. Thanks, Joann. Thanks, Tom. Thank you, Emily Klonicki from Alignment Rockford. Toodaloo.
Bye-bye.
Toodaloo.
Have a good week, y'all.
Bye.